Why did Jesus go to hell after his death? Most of us believe that hell is a place designated for Satan, fallen angels, and those who rebel against God. So how could the Holy One who was sinless set foot in such a dreadful place? Is there a prophecy that says Jesus would descend there? And if he truly went to that dark place, what does the truth behind this action mean for believers today? To find answers, we need to understand some important biblical concepts. First of all, the term hell is often translated from Hebrew or Greek words such as Sheol, Hades, Gehenna, and lake of fire. In the Old Testament, Sheol refers to the realm of the dead, a place where all souls rest or are held, awaiting judgment. In the New Testament, Hades is similar to Sheol, describing a place where souls await judgment, while Gehenna and the lake of fire refer to the final place of punishment, not a temporary one. Generally, when people say Jesus went to hell, many theologians mean that he descended to Hades rather than Gehenna. Let's consider the fulfilled prophecies. It is written that Jesus died and rose on the third day, and that he holds the keys of death and Hades, as described in Revelation 1:18. Holding the keys means having supreme authority, indicating that he went there to establish his dominion. Before going further, let's clear up some misconceptions about hell. First, many think hell is the kingdom of demons, where Satan sits on a throne, commanding evil spirits to torment souls. In reality, the Bible in Matthew 25:41 describes the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels, meaning Satan does not rule there. He too is a condemned prisoner. Second, some joke about hell being a party place rather than a place of suffering. But the Bible portrays it as a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth, a realm of darkness and torment. Third, many believe in purgatory, a place to purge the soul before entering heaven. But the Bible does not affirm this concept. Fourth, some think that everyone who dies immediately goes to hell. But Revelation 20:11 through 15 states that the final judgment happens on the last day. Therefore, there is a waiting period, Hades. Fifth, there is the theory of annihilation, which claims that wicked souls are utterly destroyed and do not suffer eternally. However, the majority of Christian tradition upholds that eternal suffering is a reality. On this foundation, the truth about Jesus going to hell becomes clearer. He did not go there to be tormented, but to proclaim victory. According to 1 Peter 3:18-20, after Jesus died, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, those who disobeyed during Noah's time. Here, Peter reveals that Jesus declared his triumph, not to offer them a second chance. Instead, he confirmed that he had completed the redemption plan and defeated the power of sin. This fulfills the prophecy from the Old Testament. The Messiah would crush the serpent's head, defeating Satan as prophesied in Genesis 3:15. From this perspective, Jesus' descent into Hades was not to endure more suffering, but to declare, "The power of death has been shattered." Additionally, Ephesians 4:8-10 says that Jesus ascended on high, leading captives in his train and giving gifts to people. Paul explains, he descended to the lower earthly regions before ascending. This means that when he died, Jesus descended to the realm of the dead, liberating the righteous souls of the Old Testament who were still waiting for the completed plan of redemption. And then he ascended, opening the way for them to enter heaven. Before Jesus' resurrection, heaven had not yet been opened to humanity, as sin had not been fully atoned for. Therefore, Jesus made the way, as described in Hebrews 10:19 through 20, allowing the chosen ones of old, known as the saints of ancient times, to enter God's kingdom. This liberation also confirms that he has triumphed over death and taken the keys of death and Hades. So, what did Jesus do when he descended into Hades? There are three main points. First, he proclaimed to the imprisoned spirits, as stated in 1 Peter 3:19, to announce his victory and affirm that he is the Messiah. Second, he defeated the power of sin, as Colossians 2:15 records that he disarmed the powers and authorities, making a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross. Third, he liberated the believers who had been held in a temporary place, bringing them to heaven. Therefore, his descent into hell was not to endure further suffering, but to demonstrate that death has been conquered. This refutes the false notion that Jesus went to hell to be punished. What does this mean for us today? First, the chosen ones possess a certain hope. Death is no longer the greatest fear. When Jesus went to hell and came back, he took control of everything, and whoever believes in him will not be hindered. Remember Luke 16, the story of the rich man and Lazarus, where Jesus spoke about two compartments, the place of rest and the place of torment. Although temporary, the distinction was clear. In the end, on the day of judgment, those who follow Satan will be cast into the lake of fire for eternity, while believers in Jesus will inherit the new heaven and new earth. This means that hell, or Hades, currently still exists, but the lake of fire is the final destination. Jesus visited Hades, not the lake of fire, as it is written in Revelation 20:10 through 15, that the lake of fire is not yet opened for anyone. Second, Jesus' action teaches us that there is no place beyond his rule. This truth frees us from the illusion that demons reign down there. Death and hell, as terrifying as they may be, are still under the authority of God. Through his victory, Jesus proved that even the gates of Hades will not overcome the church. This is a prophecy. No matter how fiercely the devil roars, the church will move forward because Christ has founded it on the unshakable rock. Third, Jesus' descent to hell affirms that he is the one who empathizes with every aspect of human suffering. He endured all humiliation, death, and even descended into the realm of death, nothing he has not experienced. Through this, he paved the way for the resurrection of all those chosen to fulfill prophecy. Whenever we face darkness, we remember that Christ has touched the very core of darkness, stripped death of its power, and granted eternal hope. For many people, the idea that Jesus went to hell sounds horrifying. But the truth is, he did not go there to be tormented. He went as a king to subdue rebellion, declaring victory. This brings comfort because it shows that hell could not imprison him. This also explains why some interpretations vary among denominations, but most historical theology, especially apostolic traditions, agree that he declared victory over death, not that he endured additional punishment. Did Jesus experience the fires of hell or judgment there? The answer is, he bore the judgment of sin on the cross, taking God's wrath on behalf of mankind. When he cried out, "It is finished," it meant the punishment was completed. The moment his soul departed from his body, he did not continue to suffer, but proceeded to fulfill his mission in the realm of the dead, acting as king rather than as victim. However, this belief does not allow us to take hell lightly. It is still a place reserved for those who stubbornly reject salvation, a place God prepared for the devil and his angels. Jesus warned about the unquenchable fire. The existence of hell reminds us of the seriousness of sin. We are called to come to Jesus to avoid condemnation. Those who do not believe will face final punishment as described in Revelation, where hell and death are thrown into the lake of fire. In short, without relying on Jesus, hell is terrifying. The chosen ones who fulfill prophecy are the community of believers who trust in the complete work of Jesus. When we share the gospel with the world, we emphasize that Jesus dealt with sin and death, then triumphed. Hell could not hold him, and the grave could not imprison him. In truth, hell to him was merely a platform to proclaim glory. Life now flows to humanity. Whoever receives it no longer fears the place of wailing. For us, let's take the lesson of faith. When Jesus said, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world," we envision not only that he overcame the world, but also that he conquered the realm of death. Therefore, no matter what suffering or storm comes our way, we can trust in him. This truth is not just academic, but profound. If Jesus broke the chains of death to save us from the darkest place, what else do we fear? In the Bible, John 10:17-18, Jesus confidently declares, "I have the authority to lay it down and the authority to take it up again." That means he voluntarily died, willingly descended into the abyss, but death was just a door that could not hold him. Now he gives us abundant life. As sinners once destined for death, we are now forgiven. How great is that love! We, the chosen ones, receive the gospel and are ready to live for him, bearing witness to his grace. Summary: why did Jesus descend into hell? Because he had completed the atonement on the cross and then visited the realm of death to declare victory, liberate believers, and break Satan's power. He was not imprisoned there. Instead, he left the grave after 3 days, resurrecting in majesty. This act shows that he enlightened every domain, including hell, asserting his sovereignty. Through this, we are assured that the power of death has been defeated. Whoever relies on Jesus is saved from the bondage of sin and granted a place in glorious heaven. This is the fulfilled prophecy of Christ, the Messiah who vanquished sin's power and bestowed eternal life. If today you are wavering between the fear of death or anxiety about the afterlife, trust in Jesus. Remember, he once descended into hell, destroyed the powers of darkness, and now holds the keys. Right now you can pray and receive his grace. So instead of living in constant worry, you can dwell in peace. Who dares to oppose when Jesus has authority over life and death? By following Jesus, we have no fear of hell, because the truth is, he went there and returned, fully victorious. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Wishing you many blessings.